across India, almost every dam is challenged today. I must tell you that, and it's not just the whole credit of Narmada Andolan at all. It's that the people now have realized beyond the directly affected, what is it that the large dams bring to them or do not bring to them. And the whole story, the saga of Narmada really has exposed the Sardar Sarovar project anyway, which was the most controversial internationally, from where the World Bank had to withdraw after the independent commission. Every single issue that we had raised has happened to come true, fortunately or unfortunately, because we had questioned the massive scale displacement, and today also there are 40,000 families still in the submergence area of Sardar Sarovar Dam. While of course the first stretch, the Adivasi communities, the original inhabitants as they are called, have already lost their lands and livelihoods in many villages, if not all, and still partly affected communities have them holding on to land, water, forest and fish. In the upper stretches of the mountain ranges, where we have schools, 13 life schools, residential schools, we have other small projects of supporting them. We built the 2 micro-hydel projects. So the struggle and the reconstruction go hand in hand, while they are yet waiting to receive land for land. So all that was promised has not come true in case of rehabilitation. While 11,000 families have got land for land only in this dam across the world. And nothing to boast of, because even those who are resettled at the resettlement sites are still fighting with us, whether it is in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh or Gujarat. But in the most affected state of Madhya Pradesh, the Indians know about it, affected by even the dam in Gujarat, Sardar Sarovar, and all other dams are in Madhya Pradesh anyway. Even there, not one family is given land for land, and instead the cash scheme they brought in, which led to huge corruption by officials and touts, and that got exposed to us because our farmers group acted like detectives and found out and exposed the scam and the scandal involving 2,500 to 3,000 fake documents created by these officials and touts as the fake land purchases and sale deeds. Fortunately, we could, after years of persuasion and action, could convince the court in Madhya Pradesh, and the Judicial Commission of Inquiries now recording 8,000 evidences. So every month that huge inquiry is going on, which again has exposed the government's claim of the people having got land for land. So while 11,000 have got land, thousands have not got land, and there are 40,000 families in the reservoir area, partly flooded, much not yet flooded, in the Sardar Sarovar Dam affected area alone, which spreads across 3 states and 6 districts in the valley. And 250,000 years back there was life and there was civilization, as it is now known. So older than Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, now the prehistory branch establishes the fact that it would take 100 years to even study the archaeological remnants and excavate those and resettle the remnants, if not the human beings. Irrigation that was claimed to be covering 1,800,000 hectares has not really reached the really drought affected areas, because the canals are not built, while the dam is pushed to the height of 122 meters. Many Adivasis having sunk into the silt, that is huge column of silt, taking the toll of the lifespan of the dam, as it has happened in the case of many dams in India. The lifespan has come down to 1/3, 1/4, 1/8, as in the case of Nagarjun Sagar Dam and Patrick's book Silent Rivers. It's a great contribution bringing together all this data. But it is the scenario today in Gujarat that only 20% of canals, the surface channels are built, and only 10% of already available water is used. And even that water is, in spite of umpteen number of inaugurations, have not really reached with priority to the drought affected areas, which are always at the tail end of the large tunnels and channels. So obviously the water is going to cities, and the latest news that we have received here is the Gujarat is now giving up canals in many areas because they don't want to waste their funds, when anyway the water is going to be reserved for the corporates. So they are bringing in special industrial areas, SIAs, and the water will be supplied to them. And anyway, the Gujarat's farmers, who were up against us with support from the state, challenging the people from the submergence areas as anti-developmental or anti-nationals, are not ready to give their land for canals because they have realized how much of waterlogging, salinization occurs in the lands around the channels. When some land is acquired officially and paid for, the rest gets affected without even the compensation. And the breaches, of course, have submerged more land in Gujarat than we have permitted them to submerge the land in the valley till date. The costs are 10 times the originally approved cost, which was 4,200 crores, that is 42,000 million rupees initially. Now it is 45,000 crores today's cost, and it is going to be 70,000 crores. 1 crore is 10 million rupees in 2012. This is the official estimate of the Planning Commission of India, and yet such political maneuverings and such political alliances, unholy ones, between Narendra Modi and Montek Singh Ahluwalia, the Indians know who I am referring to, that the further investment got cleared irrespective of the opposition from within the Planning Commission just a few months ago. Everyone coming together to take this issue not merely as a dam related issue, but as an issue related to the development paradigm. In the neoliberal globalization based economy, the corporatized states that it is favoring and furthering, which is now no more limited to dams, and it was never anyway, but the whole state that is now privatizing water resources, privatizing rivers, wanting to follow this centralized paradigm of managing natural resources and also manipulating the populations living with the natural resources since generations. Whether it is in the case of POSCO, which Anu is supporting the struggle against, the South Korean giant, which is there in the state of Orissa, where a good report has come out, but the final decision is still in the hands of this committee and that committee. Whether it was in Nandigram, where the great struggle by the people, supported by the activists and politicians simultaneously, really could lead to driving away the Indonesian giant, the Salim International, but at a huge cost of mass rapes to mass killings. Whether it is the struggle by the urban poor, and we have the movement of the urban poor in Mumbai, which recently led to, because of the exposing of not one but many scams, but one scam known as sarcastically Adarsh, a very great contradiction, but ideal scam. Adarsha is ideal. It's an Adarsha cooperative housing society where the houses were grabbed by the huge number of politicians and bureaucrats, and I have the whole list and all the documents with me if you want to see. The chief minister had to finally be sacked by the prime minister, although it happened just the minute Obama's plane took off. Not till then, because the Prime Minister said that it will happen only after Obama's visit. But the very minute the flight took off, it was declared and we got calls. Now the new Chief Minister has come in, the name we had demanded. But a long way to go, because there are a number of scams and scandals in the sector which is known as real estate development, but which is actually unreal estate development and accumulation of land, I must point out. And also the water, whether it is for the bottling of water underneath the groundwater aquifers are readily available, and Pepsi and Cola especially is being fought against, and Amit also supports through investigation, research, action. And many factories are stopped. The Coca-Cola in Kerala, Plachimada, which is a part of our National Alliance of People's Movements, the leaders were in Narmada Valley for the October struggle. Or in the Uttar Pradesh, again the leading youths were in the Narmada Valley for the October struggle. We have a National Alliance of People's Movements, not that all the movements are in it from all over India, but many, 150 was there in the convention, which was the 8th biannual convention that took place in the Narmada Valley for 3 full days after the 2 days Narmada celebrations. And we could discuss everything and could plan a joint strategy which requires the support of you all in many ways, somewhat similar to what happened in the case of Narmada. And hence I began with Narmada.